Hello, happy winter morning to you. My name is Scott. I run this here channel, such as it is, and I'm a man on a mission. I have made it my mission to review examples from every single distillery, active distillery in the Speyside region. Mainly for bragging rights, mainly because I want to just thumb my nose at these so-called dedicated whiskey channels who, despite their endlessly talking about Ardnamurchan, can't manage to count past their fingers and toes when it comes to the largest whiskey producing region in Scotland. Anyways, in the course of that process, I was going to run into Longmorn at some point. Longmorn, long-standing distillery, big brother of Benriach, which is probably more famous these days, actually. Just south of Elgin. Elgin, I'm sorry. Elgin is Illinois. And really, you don't see it that often anymore, aside from the 16 that came out a few years ago. It's not really that common in the official bottlings, unless you look really, really hard. And that's a little bit unfortunate. You see, if you talk to old school malt heads, people who've been in the game longer than I have, and you mention Longmorn to them, they will get that wistful look on their face, because Longmorn, they're probably going to rank Longmorn pretty high up there. It's not going to be up there with Talisker and oh damn it, I'll get that later. Nope, it's gone. It's gone. It's not going to be up there with Springbank or anything, but it's going to be, in the upper echelons. The thing is, they're going to have a really hard time explaining to you why that is. Because if you look at the stats on Longmorn, it looks pretty normal. There's nothing particularly special about the stills, no crazy partial triple distillation, shell and tub tube condensers, regular old fermentation time. It looks pretty normal. And when you ask them, okay, what is this? Is this a really good sherry bomb? Is Longmorn like a peat monster? They'll say no. It's you can watch them struggle. It's fun. It's very fruity. It's got lots of orange and kind of orchard fruit, but it's also very grainy. It's certainly grainy, and but it also has an herbaceous side. It's you can get some herb notes, some tea notes, and you'll just kind of stare at them and go, okay, so it's a Speysider, and they'll say no. It's it can be very nutty too. That brings some nuts to the table, and you just nod and say, okay, it's a Speysider. And the thing is, that's basically right. That's basically what Longmorn is. It is smack dab in the middle of the Speyside style, such as it is. But it just does that style really, 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 really well. And I think that's why it has both gotten a certain love from certain kinds of corners and has never really punched through with the kind of big names, because it isn't bringing the sort of big flavors that you would expect to punch through. But what I've got here is a lineup of 5, 2 official bottlings, and 3 independents, one of which I actually own. All the rest are from Joe. Thanks, Joe. And we're going to taste through these and give them some scores, and I don't know, just see how they are. I haven't done a good, fun Longmorn lineup in a long time, so I'm looking forward to this. Let's see what we got. What is this? This is an old official bottling. This is the old 15-year-old from the mid-aughts. It's the one with the black and white distillery landscapey photo on it, if you've ever seen it. Bottled at 45%. Yeah, let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Speyside, baby. Tons of apple and pear. A little bit of peach. Is there orange? Oh, yeah, there's orange. There's blood orange. There's some mandarin. A little tangerine. I mean, this is... I know it's the official bottling, so it should be textbook Longmorn, but man, is this textbook Longmorn. Drizzle of like clover honey over all that. Loads and loads of appley, orchardy fruit, orangey stuff. A little lemon peel too. Ooh, and some like so maybe some of the leaves are starting to fall off in that orchard, and maybe some of them caught on fire, like a little bit of a burning leaf thing as well. There's certainly some graininess to this, just a nice cream of wheat kind of vibe to this. Oh, this is delightful stuff. A couple of loose rocks, but this isn't really about the minerality. We're not anywhere near like Kleinlish territory here. Like this is just really good Speyside. You're certainly getting some stewed Darjeeling tea. What is that? A little bit of an herbaceous note as well. Just all the stuff I was talking about in the intro. It's right here. Hard to nail down. Like oregano and maybe a little tarragon. Yeah, let's go with that. And yeah. Is there nutshells to go along with that? Yeah, there's like a little, like some kind of like peanut candy thing, peanut chocolate covered peanuts. Sure, a little bit of that. The more I swirl this, there's a little bit more sherry influence coming through here. I don't know what the cask breakdown of this is, but. Yeah, it's the orange thing, but there's also a distinctive like Swisher Sweets and like chicken bouillon kind of thing, a little bit. Yeah, good nose. It's just a really good classic Speyside nose, nailing that marriage of extreme fruitiness with a little bit of green and and graininess. All right, on the palate. Come on. Oh, man. Finish feels a hair bit awkward. Just a little bit of like a little hint of like a wet newspaper thing kind of creeping in. Maybe that's some colorant. Just knocking the finish a little bit, but I mean, as far as official bottlings go from 20 years ago, back when you were lucky to find anything that wasn't a 40% basic stuff with the color that looked like it'd been out in the sun too long. In that context, this is amazing. I mean, yeah, it's just fabulous. It's a marriage of lots of different things that's kind of hard to disentangle. I'm going to do my best. Definitely some, like, a lot of the stuff from the nose. The oranges are back, the mandarin orange, but just some straight up navel orange as well happening. Tangerine, bergamot, there's, orangey, like herbaceous oranginess. Really more forward on the orange than on the palate than on the nose. But all that is also intersecting with some apples, some pears, a little bit of quince, even a little bit of nectarine. There's certainly some graininess on here, like some overnight muesli. Honey, wildflower, but also clover honey. Some coffee dregs, but nice. That Darjeeling tea thing again. Tarragon, parsley maybe. Some green notes, but again, hard to nail down. Their color. They're just really nice color. That little kind of burned leaf thing again. it's brilliant. It's just the only thing ruining is a little bit of like an acrid kind of newspapery thing on the back end. It's not even bothering me that much, but it's there. Okay. Things start out well. Let's give this a squirt of water, and we'll move on. This is the new official bottling. It's a 16-year-old. It wasn't around for long here in Chicago. It was like, I don't know, on the shelves for 5 minutes, and then it was gone. 16-year-old. This one is, I believe, unchill filtered. I don't know about color, but it is unchill filtered. Matured in, I wrote it down, ex-sherry, American, and traditional oak. I don't know what traditional oak is. I'm guessing just neither one of the other, the first two. I'm guessing, bottled around, the mid-teens, somewhere in there, mid to late teens. Also hilariously Speyside-y. These things are not shy on the nose. More peachy this time, more floral this time. We're still bringing a ton of orange, though. There's mandarin, but now we're leaning more into navel this time. More navel orange, a little bit of tangerine and mandarin. And certainly some like peachy notes. Peach, maybe a little bit of apricot. I mean, it's obviously grainy. You're getting that same kind of muesli cream of wheat thing as the previous one. But I gotta say, cognac fans, come on over. Seriously, this might be your jam. Slightly herbaceous again. Maybe a touch of dill? Oregano. I don't think that's tarragon. Maybe fennel. Gentle fennel. It feels brighter. It feels more floral than the last one. Some vanilla, like overt vanilla this time. Drizzle of honey again. Hard to nail down what kind of honey. Like supermarket honey. Nice supermarket honey. Maybe just a big old fruit basket of a malt. It's delicious. A little bit of a nutshell kind of character to this too. And some English breakfast tea. Why not? On the palate. This is a tricky one. The first, second of this, I was like, 15-year-old. This is just better. But then, it kind of stopped. This is stopping at my molars. Which is really weird for a 16-year-old. As a general rule of mine, as spirits get older, doesn't always work like this, but as I spend more time in oak, I expect what I'm calling the mouth length, which is my own term, to deepen. I'm expecting this thing to start hitting my tonsils, hitting my lungs at around this age. And it's just not. It's all up here in front of my molars. So that's a little bit annoying. It isn't doing the kind of, hint of newspaper actoridness thing that the 15 is. But, it's also just not, we're not hitting my tonsils. And I'm mad about that. But the front of what it is doing up front is lovely. I mean, I could just repeat the nosing notes. Honestly, very floral, very very cognac-y. This feels like a malt for cognac fans. Flowers, peach. Apricot, a little nectarine. You're still getting your apple, your pear, a ton of orange, navel orange in particular. vanilla. Actually, some overt kind of bourbon notes. There's a little bit of like a nutty Jim Beam kind of thing going on in there. Like you just dump some Jim Beam in the middle of your Longmorn for fun, but nice. That kind of English breakfast tea note, the little hint of coffee. Yeah, but it's all happening up front. Some white pepper. This is one of those ones where water really is going to make a difference, because if the water fixes the mouth presence on this and kind of sends it back here, then it might actually surpass the 15. But right now, I don't see it. So let's add some water and see where this goes. It just goes to show you that like modern presentation doesn't make all the difference. I mean, this is 45%. I'm sure it was chill filtered. I'm dead certain it has some color dumped into it because you can kind of taste it. But it isn't necessarily winning in terms of mouth presence. The new 16 isn't necessarily winning in terms of mouth presence versus this old guy. So we shall see. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Look at the color on this compared to the first two. That is a nice light color. A good thing for those of us who love our malt eau de vie, especially from the Speyside. All right, this is an old malt cask. I'm not sure where Joe got this, but it is a 2003. It's a 15-year-old. It's cask number 15697. So bottled circa 2019. At 50% alcohol by volume, and it's a refill hogshead. Do I care about any of that? No, I care that this is a basically it looks like a naked Longmorn, and that's the promise of this. So I'm really excited. I've had a fair number of Longmorns in the past. This is the first one I've had with like a color this light. Usually you see them in fairly with more aggressive casking. Let's put it that way. We're very close to the elements here. But what elements they are? It's applesauce and pear sauce that's just had like a whole pot of black tea dumped on top of it. Yeah, I love it. Oh, and some oatmeal too. Why not? Yeah, very, very spirity, very, very very, very new makey, but nice. Certainly some white pepper. The oranges in the house. Oh my goodness. More tangerine. We're heading into tangerine territory here. Dill again, parsley. I'm not getting the nuttiness thing. I'm hardly getting cask at all. Like I'm looking for it. I'm getting the peppery thing. That's about it. Come on, you. What else you got to say? The graininess is kind of developing into a more of a whole grain bread kind of thing, which I appreciate. Like some orange creamsicle elements. No, usually when I think of Longmorn fans, I think of people who like a bit of cask influence. Could go either way on that. It's sherry heads, bourbon heads, they all like Longmorn to the extent that they think about it. But this is a different beast. I've never had one like this before. Let's see what happens on the palate. Brilliant. Jesus. God damn, hold on. So, oh my goodness. Again, very spirity, very new makey, but it's fabulous. If you like this style that is just naked malt spirit, where, they've just thrown it in a barrel to say that they've thrown it in a barrel, you will probably dig this. Really tremendous mouth presence. I mean, murders the 16-year-old, despite the fact that the barrel's done basically nothing. Like this is attacking my lungs, and I'm enjoying it. Very peppery, very spicy. White pepper. There's like some cumin elements to this. Oh. Orange peel, tangerine, creamsicle again. Apple pear sauce. Sure, why not? A lot of tea leaves. Not really tea. Like I feel like I'm just chewing on tea leaves, but enjoying it. This is delightful. I need more of this. Hold on. I'm just drinking this stuff. Okay. I know I'm not naming a whole lot of flavor elements to this, and that's because it's not a huge... I mean, there is a breadth of flavors, but it's not... I can't just rattle them off in the same way that I can with some of the ones with more cask influence. But man, is it nailing those flavors, and man, is the mouthfeel just... The mouth presence as a whole event just tremendous. I mean, if Longmorn wants to put out some new make and sell it, I will buy it. This is awesome. Let's give it a squirt or two. Let's just do two squirts, see what happens. And move on to one I grabbed because it was the only one I saw at the stores I was regularly shopping at. I managed to get this in before the de minimis exemption ended. Rare find. No, it was right after, because I think I paid some extra for this. It was right after. Gleann Mór. Rare find. This is a Longmorn that was distilled in 2009. So it's the youngest thing here, I think, technically. Distilled 2009, bottled this year. And it's a 16-year-old, but they finished it in a first fill oloroso hogshead from the Barbadillo house, which is a big, important house there. 55.6%, I'm sorry. And let's see what we got. And yeah, you're smelling the sherry. No doubt about the sherry. Let's get that out of the way first. We're in the realm of industrial sherry here, so you're getting your chocolate orange, your Swisher Sweets, but there's also like a distinct like auto body shop kind of thing happening. But then you've got hints of Longmorn kind of creeping through. Stewed black tea. Apple, pear, honey. Orange, but it's not the chocolate orange thing from the sherry. This is just, straight up navel orange. A little bit of mandarin orange. There's some black pepper, a lot of black pepper. And some vanilla. We got that kind of like that Jim Beam thing kind of going on here. A little bit of Jim Beam peanuts, nutshells going on. But you have to push past the sherry to get to it. I want to see, this is another one where I'm curious to see what water does. A little bit of a coffee element to this, hard to nail down. Like, yeah, used coffee grinds. And certainly grainy as well. Leaning more into a rye bread direction, I guess, this time. Okay. Good nose, fun nose. But to be honest, I'm skeptical that the sherry is is necessary here. Maybe it's not hurting. Let's see what happens on the palate. It's a happy marriage. I mean, this absolutely works. I want to see what water does, because with finishes, sometimes water can make things interesting. And that tells you something about where the bottle's going to go over time. Very similar vibe. It's not as auto-shoppy on the palate as on the nose, but it's there. You are eating chocolate oranges and smoking some Swisher Sweets, like while someone does like a brake change in your car, and there's like a ton of dust and like oil and stuff going on. That's kind of what this tastes like. Lots of black pepper too. Stewed black tea, but also black tea leaves. And then behind that, especially as you kind of get the exhale after the finish, you do get your florals, your fresher orange stuff. Little bit of apple, pear, peach, but it's mostly on the exhale. Still got the graininess. Ooh, there's like a soy sauce thing. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, grainy. I'm gonna go again like rye bread. Not profound rye. We're talking grocery store, nice grocery store rye. Certainly has a good mouth presence. It's grippy, has good length, holds on pretty well. It's just a question of where this goes with water for me. I find this very pleasant. Not necessarily representative of the glorious, grainy, fruity, all dancing extravaganza that Longmorn can be, but quite pleasant. 1, 2 squirts. I'm just going to bring the water over here. 3 squirts. 4 squirts. We'll probably do 5. Hold on. Do like 4.5. Let's do 4.5. Okay. And we will finish off with a SMWS, which I can never remember what it stands for. Scotch Malt Whisky Society? But yeah, whatever. I find these people... it was cute when they started, and now that it's gotten less cute as it's been going on, especially even where the prices are going. This is another 2003 Longmorn. The partner to this old Malt Cask here. It is SMWS 7.258 called Motion Capture Tree. And what else about this? Yeah, so aged in a first fill bourbon barrel, which is interesting because this one, from probably the same batch, both November 03, was a refill hogshead. So was this recast? I wouldn't be surprised if it was just recast by these folks. Anyways, let's see what we got. Bourbon Longmorn is always fun. Let's see what we got. Uh-oh. Okay, very cool. Like, reticent on the nose. Having some difficulties aromatically. Having, a little okay, it's coming out, but I'm having to fight with it. Yeah, there we go. There's some fruits: apple, peach, pear. A lot of black pepper. Wow. Orange peel more so than like the fruit part, but yeah, there's some orange peel, a little bit toasted maybe, bergamot peel, graininess again. We're back at oatmeal. But yeah, certainly the least outgoing of the noses so far. Got your tea leaves. So we're kind of bringing in the Longmorn ensemble. It's just, it's not as outgoing as some of these others. Yeah, some vanilla too, I guess. A lot of black pepper though. That's all I got. Sorry, that's all I got for this. On the palate. Really peppery. Wow. Spicy boy. Not what I would have expected from a bourbon cask Longhorn. Like it might be the most austere thing here, and that's counting the weird Longmorn eau de vie in the middle. So you are getting some fruit, like apple pear, but it's like baked burned apple pear, maybe some like burned apricot and nectarine, burned orange peel, tea leaves, black pepper, lots of black pepper, a little bit of vanilla. Burned oatmeal. Yeah, like bourbon style dried cherry as well. Some nuttiness. More old granddad nuttiness than, traditional beamline nuttiness. But, it's there. And it has a big old wallop on the palate. It's just a bit of a beast. Spicy, grippy. Big boy. Austere is never the word. It's not the word I thought I would use when talking about Longmorn, but this is kind of austere. I like it. I think it's a good malt, but yeah, I don't think it's winning this table so far. But I want to see what water does, because if water kind of brings the fruit out, brings out some smiles, some laughs, then I think we got a winner here, because the presence is phenomenal. 4.5 again, maybe. This is 56.1, so just slightly higher than the rare find. Yeah, let's do half. Half a squirt. All right, let's go back through. Very fun. Kind of all the same, but variations on all the same, and just like a great showcase of like what a fabulous profile Longmorn is, and just how great the Speyside can be. Like, this feels like a celebration of Speyside, and not just Longmorn. Let's walk back through these, starting with the 15. A lot of these are just like dice rolls. I don't know where these are going to go with water. This one, if this clears out the newspapery thing I was getting on the finish, this could win the table. It really could. I like this 15 a lot. If it brings that newspaperiness out some more, we might have problems. On the nose. I mean, it's subdued into a nice, mellow, beautiful thing. Appley, orangey tea stuff. It might have lost a little bit of complexity, but I can't hate this. It's just beautiful. There's a reason why old malt heads get wistful about Longmorn. Like, it can just be very pretty malt on the palate. There's a little bit more pepper. A little bit of the orange creamsicle thing I think I was getting from this. That's kind of coming in now. But no, the acrid newspapery thing I was getting on the back end, that's still there. It's not worse, but it's still there. That said, this is still kind of fabulous. It's just got that one issue with it. Oh. One more time. Hard to score. It's so pretty. It's not perfect, but man, this marriage of elements is so Speyside-y and just so delightful. You know what? I'm going to step this up. I thought this was going to be in 87 territory. This is an 88. It's an 88 minus because you do have to be wary of that finish, but that's an 88 minus. I think that's if you can get this cheap at auction, like grab it. It's wonderful. Moving on to the 16-year-old, the new OB. Yeah, again, not a whole lot of change from where it was before. We're still in like floral Longmorn, like cognac adjacent Longmorn. But the nose was not the problem with this. The problem was the way it was behaving on the palate. So let's see what we got. I mean, it's still, these just smell good. They just smell good on the palate. Chutes and ladders. The mouth length is better. Now we're starting to hit my tonsils with this, as it should, as a 16-year-old. But it feels like the texture and the grip have fallen off just a hair to compensate for that. I'm not mad. It's still a delicious whiskey, but yeah, this is not beating the old 15. It just isn't, despite better presentation. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the fruit, the flowers, that little like nutty Jim Beam thing. That's a lot of fun. Let me try the 15 one more time. Get myself oriented. Just a little bit more detail. I'm being unkind to this. This is a good whiskey, the 16. It's delicious. It's something a lot of people will enjoy. It's just not quite up there with this. So, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck. I don't want to give this a 60... I'm sorry, an 86 plus, because that will give you the wrong impression that this gets better with water, and it doesn't. It just kind of changes, gains a little, loses a little. I will call this an 86.5. I don't do decimals usually, but in this case I will. This is an 86.5. And that's just how I'm going to score it, because that's where it is. Let's move on. This was absolutely the big surprise of this lineup. Old Malt Cask, 2003, and it doesn't matter because it just tastes like Longmorn new make. Oh, no change on the nose. It still smells like apple pear mash with some graininess and a whole bunch of tea and orange and stuff dumped onto it. Joe, thank you for letting me try this. All of these, but this in particular is a little bit of a gem. Oh. Again, you have to like this style. You have to be willing to venture out into the world where the oak is not there to protect you, where it's not there to provide a nice cushion of brown sugar and vanillas and dried fruit or whatever it is. This is not about that. This is about a glorious, fruity, grainy, slightly green, tea-ridden spirit, showing off what it can do. And I really like this. Changes from where it was before? Not really. Nope, not really. Damn. Okay. It was fabulous before. It's fabulous now. This is an 88 pointer. 88 points. Easy score. Could have a little bit more complexity to it, but I don't care. This is fabulous. And if you see other kind of naked Longmorns out there, now I can recommend you go out and seek them out. Rare find. Oloroso finish. This is another one where I'm curious what water did, because if the sherry blew off, we could have something interesting here. Nope. Nope, it's still there. Really, yeah, auto body shop. We're getting a little bit of a struck match thing. But I think it's good. Chocolate orange, but also real orange. And apple and pear and graininess. And a little Jim Beam nutty character. There's some flowers creeping out now. That's fun. We might have even gotten a little bit more industrial with water. I don't mind. I think this kind of works on the palate. I think it's pretty much where it was. It's, in sherry cask, leaning industrial, meets fruity distillate that is kind of trying to fight its way out. And it makes for an interesting combination. Yeah, not a lot of change with water. I don't know, in some ways, also not a traditional Longmorn, kind of like the old Malt Cask, but in the other direction. This way we're leaning, grungy, slightly sulfury sherry on top of your Longmorn, but it kind of works. I don't think I like it as much. Let me try the old Malt Cask one more time. No, this is better. I will give an 87-point score to the rare find here. 87 points. Sorry, I have been getting over a cold, and I thought I was all gone, but now there's a little gunk kind of creeping back in, probably because I've been talking for 40 minutes. And here we are. Let's finish things off with this 17-year-old on the nose. Okay, the pepper has kind of cleared out a little bit. That's good. It's still not loud. It's not talking to me with the same volume as these first two glasses, for example. But yeah, the pepper's still there. It's calmed down a little bit. It's settled. It's peppery heart. Now we're just getting like a more subdued version of the Longmorn profile on the palate. Yeah. If the rare find is Longmorn trying to fight back against a grungy, sulfury sherry cask, this is Longmorn trying to fight back against, I don't know, old granddad. That's kind of the vibe on this. It's like Longmorn head to head against old granddad, and it's kind of glorious. I like this. Still very peppery on the palate. I mean, nuts, dried cherry, vanilla, barrel char stuff. But then you got the like the fruit parade and the graininess kind of creeping in. Orange, black tea. Also a little, I mean, not just a little, a lot raw. But I like this too. This is also delicious. I still don't think it's beating the old Malt Cask, but it might be beating the the rare find. It's just perfect personal preference between these two, I think. Yeah. If you like grungy, stinky sherry casks, you will like this version of Longmorn. If you like Old Grandad or Smoke Wagon, you will like this version of Longmorn. That's kind of it. Same score, 87 points. And yeah, there's your video. So your winners today, up front is this totally naked version of the malt, which is completely new to me. The old Malt Cask 15 with absolutely no cask influence whatsoever. 88 points. I loved it. Right behind that, the old 15. Little bit of, awkwardness in the finish, but wow, quite impressive. And then these two are tied. Rare find. I mean, I just described these, right? This is Longmorn for old Grandad fans. This is Longmorn for stinky sherry fans. And then, kind of at the bottom of this close cluster, but not that far behind the leaders, you'll notice, is this new Longmorn 16, which is kind of the Longmorn for cognac fans, if you will. 86.5%. A score I have never used before and hope to never use again. And yeah, that is the video. Thanks for watching and cheers.